think I'm live. I'm still getting to know this video system. I've just woke up this morning and I'm just sat here. I've just uploaded a video. The camera's a little bit, so I'm going to lower myself down. So basically, I just wanted to say that I have been uploading some videos with Linda Thompson. That was my last videos, and I just want to say that I think Linda Thompson is actually one of my favorite of Elvis's ex-girlfriends, and I know that she was with him before Ginger Oldham, but I've watched so many of Linda's interviews, and there's something about her that she just comes across very genuine. She's super good looking, super gorgeous. When Elvis was with her, he really did know how to pick them, didn't he? And she was stunning, and I can just tell that she absolutely adored him and loved him to bits. What do you think? Which one of Elvis's girlfriends do you think were his favorite after he split up from Priscilla? I know he had many girlfriends, and I know that Linda, for the first year she was with Elvis, stayed with him every single day, and she did go on tour with him. He loved having her around, and I know that she could sing, and I just think that if he had been faithful, because Elvis was unfaithful to her eventually, I do think that if he had been faithful, they probably would have stayed together. And I've also heard that she even revived him a few times. So she, for me, is one of his special girlfriends. And she was a Southern girl, and there was a lot of things that appealed to Elvis. And whenever I watch Linda's interviews, she's very candid but very honest, and she never runs Elvis down. She may touch on his medicine and his prescribed tablets that he took. She calls them sleeping medication, which I think is a very respectful way of putting it. But she always builds Elvis up. And she does, unfortunately, say that the 8 months that after they split up, there was a massive change in his health, and he just looked really unwell. And she couldn't believe how much he had changed before he finally passed away. And she recalls just remembering Elvis in his grave, and she just couldn't believe that Elvis had passed, that he had gone. He was such a big character and such a larger-than-life character. So I bring her up because she's one of my favorite of all his ex-girlfriends. I wonder who your favorite ex-girlfriend of Elvis was. So going back to my other video, I've been making one with Lee Majors, and just personally from my experience in the 70s, I absolutely loved the $6 Million Man. I know this is after Elvis, but this is how I got to know Lee Majors and Steve Austin, that character. And it just been as a 10-year-old boy in England watching this new series, The $6 Million Man, that was being aired every Saturday. It just blew me away. It just drew me in because of even Lee Majors, he had a massive charm to him. Obviously, he was an extremely good-looking man, and which I think him and Elvis were sort of on an equal par with looks in the way of, well, I don't know, that's not true. Elvis is better looking, but you get my point. The reason I think I loved $6 Million Man was because he made it feel believable. He made it feel like you knew the character Steve Austin and you were rooting for him. And I actually thought the storylines were pretty good. And then Farrah Fawcett comes along and does the Bionic Woman, and they were the perfect match. I know that Elvis liked Lee Majors because of his this very famous cowboy series. It's gone out of my head what it's called now. That was in the early 70s, and Elvis really liked it. Might have even been late 60s. And Elvis really liked it. So when Elvis found out, whilst filming Clam Bake that Lee Majors was recording his, is it the Big Valley? That's what it's called. On the same studio set, not set, but studio. He wanted to meet him. And when they did meet, they hit it off straight away. And I've got a few pictures of them together. And even now, Lee Majors speaks very, very highly of Elvis. And he cherishes the taking care of business gold necklace that Elvis gave him when he was with the Memphis Mafia. And to this day, he still wears it every day and loves it. So, you know, I've done the videos about their friendship and it's just sort of how it stayed with Lee Majors all these years, 50 years later. So today, my intention is to do a video with Bill Baxter, the Incredible Hulk, yeah, and he was on Clam Bake, just like Lee Majors was. I know Lee Majors only played a really tiny bit part, but Bill Baxter was quite a big part in Clam Bake. So I was thinking I'm going to do sort of find lots of clips of Bill Baxter talking about Elvis and some pictures of Bill Baxter with Elvis. Then I was going to piece that together with clips of the Incredible Hulk. And again, the Incredible Hulk, I absolutely loved it as a little 10-year-old boy. And I really related to his kindness and his struggle. It's a bit like The Fugitive, where he just wants to do the right thing, but wants to heal himself. And I love the Incredible Hulk, absolutely. And my kids, who the smaller ones are 7 and 3, I play the Incredible Hulk and $6 Million Man, and they love it even to this day, all these years later, 50 years later. So that's my video for today. And I asked you as my subscribers, are there any topics you'd like me to do? So I asked this a few months ago, and Lee Majors was brought up, but there were many other things like his ex-girlfriends and Tom Jones. I hope you like that. I know the Tom Jones videos had thousands and thousands of views. So that friendship between Elvis and Tom Jones, I think, is important to the fans out there. So I just think the last 4 or 5 videos I've done have had a really good reaction, better than I was expecting. I did the Ginger Oldham one. So I'm just trying to relate everything back to Elvis, all the people that really influenced Elvis and that Elvis really liked. I'm trying to do videos that show their character, like Bill Baxter, for example, or Lee Majors, but also why Elvis liked them. So I'm trying to link it all together. All of my videos will link back to Elvis. So anyway, I just wanted to have a quick chat this morning. I'm just having a cup of tea at home. My kids, everyone's asleep. I think it's about 8 in the morning. Everything's a bit messy behind me because the kids were messing around last night. We had pancake day in the UK, so the kids all had pancakes. So I'm just trying to think what other topic, because I do choose my topics daily. I don't have a long list of topics. So today my topic is the Hulk and Elvis. And I'm trying to think what I'll do tomorrow. Could be Elvis and Frank Sinatra. I'm not sure. I'm putting it out there for you guys to come up with some ideas. Okay. Thanks a lot. Good morning to you. And I'm going to play this back just to see if it's working. It's the first time I've ever used the webcam on a PC. And this is just a test. So I don't even know if the sound quality is any good. Thanks, everyone. All the best to you. Sending you all up.